Okay, today we are going to be finding slope from a table. Okay, so let's draw our table. So we have 5 boxes by 2 boxes. So we have X and Y. Here are X values, and here are our Y values. So on your assignments, you'll be given your table. We just have to draw it for our notes. So remember that slope equals m, which equals the change in y over the change in x. And so the first thing we need to do is calculate the change in y. So we're going to look at the y values, and we're going to see what we do to y to go from 5 to 10. What do? We add 5. If we add 5, 5 plus 5 gives us 10. And if we have 10 to get to 15, we add 5. From 15 to 20, we add 5. So our change in y equals 5. Then we need to calculate our change in x. So to go from 2 to 4, 2 plus 2 is 4. From 4 to 6, 4 plus 2 is 6. From 6 to 8, 6 plus 2 is 8. So our change in x equals positive 2. So then the last step is we are going to write the slope. So we have the change in y over the change in x, which is 5 over 2. Let's do one more. Okay, so first we need to calculate the change in y. So what are we doing to the y values each time? So what do we do to negative 1 to get negative 3? We are taking away 2. Negative 1 minus 2 is negative 3. Negative 3 minus 2 is negative 5. And negative 5 minus 2 is negative 7. Then we have to calculate the change in x. Our change in y is negative 2. Then we need to calculate our change in x. So what do we do to 1 to get to 2, to 2 to get to 3, to 3 to get to 4? We are adding 1. So our change in x is just a positive 1. So remember that the slope equals the change in y over the change in x. So the change in y was negative 2 divided by our change in x, which is 1, which is just negative 2. Let's look at your finding slope from a table assignment. So number 1, we need to find the slope and we have to show our work. So I want to see your change in y's over your change in x. So m equals the change in y over the change in x. So the change in y, 5 plus 5 is 10, 10 plus 5 is 15, 15 plus 5 is 20. So change in y is 5. Our change in x is 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 1 is 3, 3 plus 1 is 4, which is 1. So the change in y over the change in x is 5 divided by 1, which means our slope is simply 5. Okay, go ahead and work on your assignment.